Dive might, just maybe, be the best comp in the game. Now, before we even get started, bro, no, I am not a Moon Knight player. No, I am not a support player. And no, I am not a tank player that doesn't know they can look behind them. I am a certified Celestial Magic player and a Spider-Man player on my alt that's currently Spider-Man only, GM2. We're going to try to push it to Celestial today on stream. Little plug. Anyways, before we get into why Dive might just be the best comp in the game, we have to define best. And also we have to clear up a very misconception when I'm saying this, is that Magic is not part of this category. I repeat, Magic is not part of this category because Magic is not a dive character. And not only is Magic not a dive character, but even if she was, she's so bad that she just would disprove this whole theory. So we have to take her out because she's a an anomaly. You feel me? Because bad character, right? As we all know. So when I define best, there's a lot of definitions for best. You could say it's the most skillful, the most fun, the least annoying to play against. Okay, that might be Blaze. But what I'm talking about is, I mean the best comp as in to win. The reason you clicked on this video, right? And in this video, I'm going to be outlining the reasons why I think this, and my experiences playing against Dive, and just overall why Dive is extremely slept on, considering that most people think all the characters are like mid B tier best, you feel me? And yeah, so if you think you enjoyed this video, if you want to hear about more real ass philosophical topics like these, sub up, bro. We're really trying to hit 10K by the end of February, literally today. I'm not gonna lie, it would be a generational aura loss if I sold getting 10K this month. So I'm gonna need y'all to lock in, and I'm gonna lock in for y'all. Anyways, let's get into the video, right? So what prompted this? Well, while I was climbing on my ult, right, from GM3, I was playing. And since I got the bans, and people were a little bit smarter with their bans, I decided to ban Bucky and Namor every single game. And after doing that, I also happened to start winning all of my games. And I think from GM3 to GM2, like 70 elo I'm at right now, I lost twice, I believe, right? And there are definitely some reasons for this. You could say, oh, you're in heavy winner's queue. Oh, you're smurfing. Blah, blah, blah. You can say a lot, right? Which, these are valid points, but I feel like that's not the reason why, I won so many times. I truly do believe it's because Dive is kind of really insane when you ban the right things, right? Because let's say you're playing Groot, for example. You ban Punisher because Groot or Punisher is the biggest counter to Groot because, you can just break walls. Arguably Bucky as well, but, whatever. We'll leave that for now. You ban Punisher, right? Well, just because you ban Punisher doesn't mean you're automatically going to perform. It means you can't get counter-swapped, but it means, or hard counter-swapped, but it doesn't mean you're automatically just going to win the game, right? But I feel like for certain dive characters, that's just not the same. If you have a dive comp and you ban Namor and Bucky, there's not a lot of things they can do to beat you. There's things they can do to live, but there's not a lot of things they can do to beat you. So if I get every single character up here, right? Let's go over the characters that beat Dive, right? Characters that beat Dive. Penny Parker, The Thing, Mr. Fantastic, Winter Soldier, Namor, and then like Adam Warlock, right? Those are really the only characters that beat Dive, and only like 2 of them, or only 3 of them are on DPS, like realistically, right? Mr. Fantastic doesn't even beat Dive for real. He's really in the other category, but we'll get into that. So if only 2 DPSs beat Dive and everyone else is a tank or a support, and that's kind of avoidable if you play well enough, I feel like the comp is kind of really good. You feel what I'm saying here? Like, if you ban Bucky Namor every single game and you're good on Spider-Man, you can outplay every single thing else on the game. You're seeing in this game, eventually they swap to a whole comp that Dive doesn't really kill. They swap to like Adam Warlock Rocket, and then they swap to Thing Penny, and then they swap to like Star-Lord Mr. Fantastic, right? All characters that don't die to Dive, but they don't beat Dive. For example, let's just take the Star-Lord example. Star-Lord doesn't easily die to Dive because he has his invincibility and he can fly. That doesn't mean he automatically beats Dive. For example, like you can play around a Star-Lord as Spider-Man. You can play around a Penny as Spider-Man. You can't really play around those characters on a bad character such as Magik. Like, let's take Magik for example. You can't really play around Bucky as easily. Now you say you could just ban Bucky and Namor. Well, if you just ban Bucky and Namor, it's not a free win. But I feel like it is a free win on Spider. I don't know if y'all really feeling what I'm saying. You feel like, and let me address this right now. You definitely could say, oh, it's because you're Smurfing, right? Which is it's a good argument. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna try to deny that. It's just the fact that everyone has their own definitions of high elo, and I'm not gonna lie. My definition of high elo, I don't think GM is high elo, but that doesn't mean I don't think GM players have enough game sense to beat my Spider-Man. I don't think my Spider-Man's anything spectacular. Get it? Spectacular, the Amazing Spider-Man. Anyways, it's just the fact that I can ban enough people now, and if my team wants to ban Bucky and Namor, and my team also wants to play dive with me, and I actually had a dive comp, it really just truly feels unwinnable if you play well enough. And I feel like that's not the case with some heroes. Obviously, you could say that's the case for some heroes for everything. Like, oh, if you play well enough, you'll never win. But like, you can really carry for real on dive. And the reason is because dive is hard to play against. It's not something that you just adapt. Like, you can adapt to it, but it's not something that if you don't have Namor and Bucky, you can't just click buttons and win. Because your supports are constantly in danger against dive, right? And if your supports are constantly in danger, then let me tell you what happens, right? Your tanks get no heals, they make no space, your DPS falls apart. And usually how you counter this is you peel for them, right? Well, how are you going to peel against a Black Panther, Spider-Man, and a Venom all jumping your supports at the same time? It's not really plausible, bro. Like, I feel like this might also be mitigated the higher you go up. So maybe when I get to Celestial, this shit's not gonna work. But, and also, you can't rely on your team 100%. So there's definitely a lot of flaws with this argument. I'm not denying that, right? But it's just the fact that maybe even it's gonna be better in low elo. Like, cause really think about it. If you get to Diamond, if you are Diamond 2 right now, and you play Spider-Man, and you ban Bucky Namor, and your team can actually play dive with you, what are they doing, bro? Cause players are not gonna be able to stop that. You feel me? Like, I don't know. I really truly don't think they can stop that. And comparing it to other comps, like a brawl comp, right? Let's say we ban Bucky, Wolverine, Storm, right? And it's a brawl comp on Magik, right? And I'm on Magik. Namor doesn't hard counter Magik, but it's going to be a lot harder to get any value when those turrets are consistently shooting you, right? And you can't always go for the backline. Now let's say you have an Iron Fist, same thing. Let's say you have a Punisher, same thing. Like, or really not the same thing, but he's just going to get poked out. Characters like these, they're easier to play against. And since they're easier to play against, they're, what's it called? They're I don't know, it's really hard to yap for real. But like, I guess an example I could give is the same reason why Black Panther is harder to play against than Magik. And before, I used to say Magik was better than Black Panther. Now that's just cap. Black Panther is way better. And the reason is really just because how hard it is to play against them. You put a Bucky on the opposite team against Magik and you're cooked. You put a Bucky against the opposite team as a Black Panther, you might be cooked, but like, it's still winnable. You can still outplay him. You feel me? And I feel like that's why dive really shines. Now, let's not get it twisted. The dive tanks, I don't feel like they're included on this unless it's Cap and Venom. Thor, I'm sorry to say, bro, but you're not dive enough, bro. Like, the movement you need, another reason why I feel like it's so strong is the movement capabilities, bro. The movement capabilities of Spider-Man, of Venom, of Black Panther, Dash Zero Tolium, of Cap running in, distracting, like that type of, what's it called? That type of movement and that type of damage isn't really found elsewhere. And I know I'm yapping, and I don't really have much else to yap about because I kind of got my point across. But I do want to like mention one more thing, and that's the fact that this is just not the same in Overwatch. Now, I haven't played Overwatch in a while, because Overwatch in 2025, what are we doing, right? And so I would like to hear y'all opinion, if you watch this far, your opinion on why this doesn't work with Overwatch. Now, you could say it's because they nerf all their dive characters like Genji, like Doomfist, like, can't really think of any else who dives, Sombra, right? You could definitely say that. But like, people don't think Spider-Man's the best, and I don't think Spider-Man's the best, but it's just hard to play against if you're good, right? So I don't know. That might just be the daily engagement of the day. I'm definitely gonna stream after this. I think I have a cooler video out tomorrow. You feel me? And I have an even cooler video if you give me the 10K. You feel me? Type shit. We need like 30 subs. So hope y'all can lock in. Type shit. When we hit 10K, I'm gonna open up a second channel. Thank y'all for watching this far. Let me know your comments or your thoughts on this down below. Peace.